Right, so this is going to be a tutorial on how to solve the FTO with the Nautilus method. This method has only like 6 algs, and 4 of them are 3x3 transfers. They are like stupidly easy algs. They are basic OLLs. The other one is intuitive commutator, so it's not really an alg. So 5 of them, you could potentially already know them, and then the last one is just a different alg, so like a more different alg. So yeah, on a FTO, there are a few piece types that you have to know. So this is an edge, this is a corner, and this is a triangle. So you could think of triangle as perhaps these X centers on a 4x4. Yep, and then the corners they can only be twisted 180 degrees. So if you get this corner twist, it'll be impossible to solve, right? Then edges, yeah, just edges, right? Yeah, so notations, so as you guys know, R, L, U, D, B, and then yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Or F. F is this way. And then there's 2 other notations that you have to learn. So this is BR, and then this is BL, and that's other basic FTO stuff that you have to know. However, even with corner in front, there's also this other notation, which is edge in front. So corner in front is CIF, well, short of corner in front, of course, and EIF is edge in front. So edge in front, I'm not too sure about the notation, but this is R, this is wide R, this is L, this is U, and I'm not sure how B moves work. I think this is B prime, D, yeah, etc. But for most of the algorithms, I'll be actually showing edge in front. The only algorithm that I'll be showing for corner in front is well, as I mentioned, the only the only alg that you really have to know for FTO. So I mean, like, the only alg you have to actually learn from this tutorial. Everything else, well, could be from like other events. Yeah. So for this tutorial, I will be using the white face as my first block. So a first block, as you know, is on rule like this. This is your first block, right? However, I am going to start off with the white center for the sake of me actually like knowing how to explain and the color scheme, and I don't know, transfers from other events such as like Yao on 4x4, and maybe even if you like learn Cisco first before learning the Nautilus method, you will start off with the white center, yeah, and that's what I'm going to be doing. The first 2 steps is going to be similar to the Cisco method, right? Basically solving the white center, then 2 triplets. So a triplet is basically this arrow block, and yeah, and this is a pre-made trapezium from the scramble that I generated, and yeah, it gave me a so this is what we call a large trap. You know, large trapezium, because there's a larger surface area than the other one, which is made of 2 triangles and 1 edge, and this is made of 2 edges and 1 triangle. So, well, of course it's bigger. So so how you would form this is that How do I? Alright, so what you want to do is that you want to know the color scheme. So it's blue, purple, red from here. Blue, purple, red. So, okay, well, it's sort of anti-clockwise, but that's how I remember it. So, yeah. And then you want to make sure that you get these two edges next to each other, which they already are. And then what you want to do is that you want to insert this triangle here. So what you could do is put the triangle at the upper left. If the triangle is here, you can just move it over. Then you can do R U prime, R prime, U prime, R U prime, R prime. So you basically just spam these moves until it's solved. Right, and big trap. Here you could make the small trap, then insert it like how you would insert this center to this center like that. So you can see that this pair is already formed because a small trap is triangle, edge, triangle. So you could do this. You move this out, then you do a U prime, and then you basically sort of reorient the triangle, I guess. Then you could insert like that because it's your first center and you have nothing to worry about, nothing to break, nothing to preserve. Then just like the Bencisco method, we are going to be solving two triplets, but however, the triplets we can solve can only have purple on them. So for example, we can only solve this triplet and this triplet, and we cannot solve this triplet actually. So as you can see, we have a block form, so I'm gonna like go through this a bit fast since our triplets are already partially solved. So you could pair this up with this. So what I like to do is that I'll put it in the bottom of this white slice. Then I will move the triplet over, and I could like do a slice move to pair it up. Similar to how on the beginner rule method, you put this edge at the loading spot, then you want to insert it up there, and insert. I think that's how the beginner rule method goes. I'm not too sure. So same thing for this. U prime. Wait, hang on. Yeah, put this at the bottom slice. U prime, slice up to pair. Then you should you could move this insert. Then same thing for this. Then yeah, that's this preform triplet. Then you could move this triangle out, move this on the bottom again, slice to form it, and insert. And now we have our first block. This next step will be just like the Yao centers on the 4x4. Yep, it's going to follow the same fundamentals. So like this, you solve for the centers and you preserve these edges, because as you saw, I was solving with R, wide R, and U moves only to solve it. So yep, and it's rotationless. Same thing for this, but we have to follow one additional rule, that we have to solve the centers in the correct color scheme. So we have a small trap form, but generally for centers, I think it's better to do big traps first than small traps. So as we can see, we have we could form a big trap like this. And you could see that this is in the correct color scheme if you compare it to a soft FTO. Actually no, it's not, it's the wrong color scheme, sorry. But if we reorient this, we move the purple up like this, and we do that, we saw that it can form a big trap. And purple, the color scheme for the orange center goes purple, yellow, and blue. And when you orient it, you always put the yellow on the right, so purple is always on the left and blue is always on the bottom. So right now it's not very like great to solve it from here. So we can actually unorient this trap. Then we could pair the last two triangles with the last edge, and then now we solve the center. We reorient it, then move it down, then we go ahead and solve the next one. And in this case, the color scheme is purple, red, yellow on the green. So red is here, small trap, but again, we would like a bigger trap. So as we can see, purple goes down here, but if we insert it, hang on. Oh yeah, because there is this paired up. But if this wasn't paired up and we insert this, it's going to not solve the big trap. So what we want to do is that we want to pair it up with this, then like that, big trap, then like that. It's like the last bar to insert. So yep. We sort of have to, okay, we have to pair these two center bars on the 4x4 together, right? Then insert. But now it's sort of like a 5x5 since there is 3 pieces on the last bar. So what we want to do is that, and we can't make like a small trap, so because like on the FTO we just can't insert it like that, so we should pair like make a pair, then our last triangle should stay in this right side, then like this. So you put one triangle in here, and then you have this pair. Then we can't insert this, but we could hide this pair on the right side. Then we reorient this triangle. Then we could now insert this. And now we have our first two centers done. And yep, I mean last two centers. The last layer we will solve it later. So these are the algs that you have to learn. As you can see, these are two groups of 3x3 basic OLs, and ignore the mega. I will like explain on that later. And this is like really the only FTO out that you really have to learn if like you know these and maybe whatever this is. So I've separated this into groups of 2. These are inverses of one another, and these are also inverses of one another. So this one is F inverse sexy F prime. So it's just F inverse sexy F prime. So very simple. This is just the inverse. It's F sexy F prime. So yeah. Then there's these two. Also basic OLs. This is you could think of it as M sexy, undo the M, undo the sexy. So like a commutator basically. So white R, you can cancel the M R into white R, U R prime U prime M inverse sexy. This one is just the inverse. It's actually not necessary, but since you already learned that, you might as well learn this because it's just the inverse and it will make solving the FTO a bit easier, but like it's optional. You can choose not to learn this, but sexy M prime under the sexy move M. So basically same thing, you could cancel moves. Then here yeah, this is just a commutator. So what you could do is that you could like put the layer upside down. Well, you could do D moves, but I would argue that it's harder on an FTO. So for now, I'll show it like this. So you take out this corner with R prime, then you move the bottom layer so that where this corner belongs is at the bottom slot. Then you undo those moves, R prime. So you basically just insert it, and you see where this has to go, which is here. And you insert the corner, and then you move the bottom layer to this one goes here, and so on, and it should solve itself. Yeah. FTO has only 3 corners on the last layer, so you only have to do this. This is, well, FTO has like it's shorter than this, so yep. And the only alg that you have to learn, this is written in CIF, corners corner in front. So you put there's only one corner orientation case that you have to know for FTO because there is only one case. So corner in front, sort of like the same start to this alg. This white R prime U prime, right? This alg also starts with that, but with corner in front. So white R prime U prime. Then you do an R prime U F prime U prime white R prime. So this alg is not very easy to memorize, but it's not that easy to memorize, but it's also not that hard either. So I guess you just try to practice that out and you should get it. So the next step is to complete our first 2 layers, then we can move on to the last layer. So our last triplet here, which will finish our first 2 layers, will be purple, and we will break this into 2 different steps. First, we solve this corner and this yellow triangle. Then we solve the purple triangle. So as you may know, the algs for F sexy F prime, F inverse sexy F prime will be used for this, and the pairing this and this to insert to here will be completely intuitive actually. So what you could do is you could insert any like you could insert I guess here you could insert this here like that. You insert the yellow triangles down here. Then you want to put it back up to the top layer so that it could actually pair up like that. So yeah, we got it. So I'm gonna try to explain this. So if you already have a pre-made block like this, you could just do R prime, which does not affect this, but however, if it's like a split pair and you want to like insert it, you can't do it with F moves because it will actually break your center. What you could do is that you could do whichever direction the bottom layer color of the corner is facing, you do the back left move of that face, of that direction. So if it was purple here and our triangle is here, yeah, BR prime, but in this case it's BL to pair it up. And we don't worry about this part first because we'll solve it later. Now next we will insert this with our U prime, R prime. And don't worry about the purple triangle, we will solve it later. R U prime, R prime. Then we will resolve this whole block by moving it back where it was before we did the insert. And we undo that BL move with a BL prime. So we got this parent. Now we have to put this in here. And in fact, this step is actually just two algorithms that you have to know, and they are just like I said, F sexy F prime, F inverse sexy F prime. So if the triangle is on the right side of you should just move it to like your F layer, which for me is yellow. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure the entire last layer is like rotationless except for permuting the corners, but your front layer is going to be yellow for the most part. So you're gonna put it on the front and then see whether it's on the left side or the right side. In this case, it's on the right side. Now, if it's on the right side, you want to do a U prime, then you want to do F sexy move, F prime. But if it's on the left side, you don't need to do any U moves. You just keep it here and then you do F inverse sexy F prime to actually stop. And yep, that's it. Now, our last layer is going to be broken into two steps. Actually, wait, yeah, two steps. But it's a sort of like for look, I guess. It's probably more than for look. I don't really know. The written tutorial that you can find online does not I'm not actually going to show any of those algs because yeah, I don't think you really need them. But what you want to do is that you want to move the top layer around, and then you should see like what bars are the closest to being solved. If you don't have any bars, okay, so when I say bar, I mean like something like this, and you want to solve just ignore the corners for now. You want to solve one face, right? Just completely ignore the corners, and you could just do U moves freely instead of rotating. So here is where the next two 3x3 OLs come into play. Well, the other one's optional, but I would highly recommend you to learn it. So it swaps the left front triangle and the back right triangle, right? So it swaps these two triangles basically, and that's all you have to know. So if you want to bring this red triangle over here to solve one face, you could do a BR setup, then it will swap these two when you do the alg. So the alg is written as edge in front. So void R U R prime U prime. This slice, which I don't know what it's called, and then you undo those moves. I mean, you do inverse sexy, then you do a BR prime, which is the setup move. You undo the setup move, and you get one face. Like I said, ignore the corners for now. We are solving the center part of the last layer. So this is where the other alg could be useful, because you could just solve it in like one alg with the other alg, because the other alg swaps these two, as you saw. But I guess you could do a F prime and then you do that alg and it should solve, yeah. So basically you want to do one move setup moves into where you could swap two pieces to solve blocks. And what I do is that I usually solve one side first, then I solve the other two sides simultaneously. And now it's time to solve the corners. And from the Megaminx alg, you could just rotate so that your bottom layer, which is purple, is on top. And again, edge in front. What you want to do is take out the corner, insert it, and repeat. However, if you have two corner twisted, you want to hold the oriented corner at the front. Then you want to do the alg I showed, which is and that should orient everything. And then you could go on to permute your corners. Yeah, and that's how you solve an FTO with the Nautilus method. Next, I want to show an example solve with what I showed. So scramble will be in the description, and this is also going to be my first time seeing the scramble, so did I miss scramble that L move? I think I did. Hopefully I don't miss scramble. Yep, it's the correct scramble, and from what I remember from the first step, we have these two placed together, and then we could spam those moves to solve the big trap. Then we do F prime, and then we could pair this up. And we just need to find the other triangle, which is right here. And we could pair this up like that, then insert. Then we will solve the purple triplets. In this case, we could bring this blue down here, pair it up. It's insert. This one, we could move it such that we put this down here, and we pair it up. And we could do the same for purple, like that, then insert, then centers. There's a trap here, but it's a wrong color scheme, so we could just probably solve this trap instead, and then, well, then the other trap formed itself, and we have the center solved in the correct color scheme. And we have this small trap, but like I said, big traps are bigger, so I mean big traps are better. Of course they're bigger. You could well, here's the thing, I don't really know how to solve this, but I would honestly spam random moves to solve them. But I guess, yeah, is that correct? No, that's not. Okay, yeah, we should insert this one down here. But like we need to pair a triangle with this, so we could do a double sexy move and then insert, and that should be correct. Next, we should insert this, and we could reorient the corner, then insert. Then we orient the center, and this is already paired up. Insert U F inverse sexy F prime. Then I guess swap these two with this alg. Yep, and then here swap these two with this alg, and we orient all the corners. And we get a corner skip, so yep, that's the example solve.